Hi all. Before us on my dummy, you can see this is my jacket I'm just making for first fitting. So I've done some real very wide lapels. This is going to be like, I've just chalk marked the lapel on here, you can see. That's where it's going to finish, just one seam inside there. Just so it'll be like 1/2 centimetre inside there. So it'll be quite a wide lapel still. So it'll kind of finish just around there. So I want to emphasise this lapel. This is going to be cut on the bias, the checks. So it'll give it a nice kind of striking little look. So now there's two methods I do to make the collar. The most simplest way, which everyone should try and learn, is draping a collar. So this fabric I've actually cut on the bias. Bias is 45 degree. So usually on jackets, the undercollar is always cut this way anyway. So this will be the undercollar. It's cut on the bias. So I don't know, it depends on how wide you want the collar. So I'm not going to give you my dimensions. So it's down to you to actually experiment. It's all about experimenting when you're draping. So I've cut this on the bias now. I'm going to attach this to the centre back here. I've just generally provisionally just marked where my seam would be once it's finished. But of course, when I've got it on the model, I may have to change that. It may have to go up, it may have to go down. That's why I've left, see, nearly an inch inlay, 3/4 of an inch inlay, just in case it's got to go up. But I'm provisionally putting this one seam below the inlay, right on the centre back seam there. And then I'm just going to just pin this in. Now I do two methods. I do the flat pattern cutting way, which is a very simple way, and I'll be teaching that. I'll be launching one of those instructional videos soon on that, and then I'll do this way. So if you know both methods, it's good to understand both ways. So when I get to the shoulder, then I'm just going to just take that down. Now usually a collar is about 1.25 inches. It can be, the stand can be the leaf edge which is there, the leaf edge is the edge which folds over. That from that leaf edge up there to the actual stand can be any width. It can be 2 inches, whatever. It's down to you as the pattern cutter or the designer, how are you going to design. So I've just provisionally just put it there for now, and I'll probably change that. That'll be recut. So anyway, so that you just pin it to the shoulder, which I've done there, and then from the shoulder you let it just go underneath. So the easiest method is this way. Where your lapel line is, can you see? You just bring that to the lapel line, and then just bring that back, and then you just start to shift the collar, how it's going to be. Can you see? Because then that line should actually go into the collar. That's where it should be. There. So you've got to just shift it down. Sometimes you may have to drop it a bit lower, which, see, I've had to drop it a little bit there. So it's all about dropping it, or it goes higher. It's down to the actual break line itself and the collar width, how that's going to sit. So it's all about experimentation. And that seems a good fit now. That's gone right into that line now. I can see that. And then once I'm happy with that, I'll decide the step, what we call the notch step. So this is what we call a notch collar. So I want mine a bit up. So, because this is going on the round, I don't want it too far going towards the notch going forward. Usually on a normal notched collar, the lapel, it's about 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches back. But because I'm designing this, I'm going to bring it a bit further back, and I'm going to just angle it. Then you can can angle it as much as you want. And if you want to, that you can bring that out and actually add a bit more fabric underneath. If you've got no fabric, just stitch another piece of fabric underneath. So I might actually have this a wider collar there, but I'll keep it just a normal collar there, and I'll just shape it back in here nicely. So just using your eye. And this is the beauty of draping, you can actually see how things are going to finish. And then I'll just bring that back in there. And then I'll just bring that back in. And now I can actually decide whether I want to actually have this higher up or lower, this actual width. So I'll decide that. And that's it, and then you cut it. And that's what you do. And it's a simple way of draping a collar. So there's my method. It's a very simple way. And you can actually have a wide collar, you can have a thinner collar, you know, the leaf edge can be wider, whatever. But this draping is a very simple method of getting that. So there we have that. Can you see that? And then I'd recut that now. So now I would know exactly where that collar's going to sit and where I've got to seam it here. And I'd mark it underneath here where the seam's going to be. And that's where it would sit exactly. So the angle can be, it can be any angle this collar can be. It can be there, it can come right out, it can go in, you know, you can even do a very angled collar here, you know. But if you haven't got enough fabric, just stitch another piece of fabric inside and put the collar back on. So I'm going to have it, I'm visualising it now, so I think I'm going to have it here. I think a little bit wider there. That's why I'm going to have it there. Then I'm going to bring that back here. So I'm going to actually put a little piece more fabric inside here and just curve that back to this collar here. And there we have that. That's going to be my new collar there. I can actually visually see that now. And that line now, the lapel line is actually going into that collar line at the neck. That's good. So hopefully you've learnt a trick or two along the way, and I will see you on my next little vlog. Ciao.